Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's EJ Marino and this is About Last Night, the show where I talk about the movie I saw last night. But we're returning to my American Horror Story rewatch. Yes, join me as I talk about Murder House Halloween. First things first, thank you so much for anyone who stayed here and let me take my break over the holiday. I just wanted to not do videos. I wanted to relax. I only did those little award show videos, but I am back with my favorite thing, and that is talking about American Horror Story with all my friends here. I cannot wait for this because we have a two-part Halloween episode to dive into. Yes, I am separating this episode into two parts, but you're not going to have to wait another week. The part 2 will come out tomorrow, but today we're only going to be talking about part 1 of this episode. I'm in my room studio, so please, if you hate this environment, let me know because I'll just return to the green screen. But if you do, I'm just going to film them here, can bang them out easier in here. I am so excited for this. I'm so excited for this episode. I'm excited to be back talking about horror story because it's been too goddamn long. The scariest thing in this episode is what I dubbed the Stepford gaze. Yes, it's like two married white gay men who just desperately want to be normal and fit in, so they just come out like robots. That is Chad and Patrick, I believe his name is, because oh my god, do they just blow my mind as this horribly boring white straight ish couple. They're that gay couple who, I want to move to the suburbs. You're the wife, I'm the husband. That's why we call them Stepford gays. We usually call them a much more derogatory term, but we'll just call them Stepford gays for now. And that's what this episode starts with. We get to finally see the family that lived in the house before the Harmons. They're like I said, Chad and Patrick. One of them is played by Zachary Quinto, who is quite the interesting character in Hollywood. But I thought this intro was interesting. We had the fight. We had the murder of Chad. That actually kind of surprised me as well. I forgot how how their whole backstory kind of started, how it all happened, because I'm genuinely still lost on some of these things in Murder House. But this whole intro, I was like, oh, I have to hear them fight and bitch about a goddamn pumpkin carving. Oh no, never mind, Chad's dead. Yay, that's better. I liked the intro of this episode. It's not as strong as the flashback with Constance killing Moira, or the first episode flashback. But I will say, strong intro. This just made me happy. Like I said, I had taken a break from American Horror Story. I dived into this Halloween episode and was like, oh, I am back into the craziness of American Horror Story. One of the biggest moments from this episode is seeing that the Harmons are trying to make over the house. Honey, the only makeover this house needs is a bulldozer and a priest. The murder house cannot be made over by just doing a painting, but you also see that the gay couple Chad and Patrick have done the same thing. They're having issues selling the house in their flashback. Same thing with the Harmons now. Like I said, I think it's interesting that this has furthered my theory that the house is doing cycles, that they are repeatedly having the same couple, no matter gay, straight, black or white, Asian. They're just getting everyone that has the similar vibe to each other, because this episode proves it. You get to see Nora and Charles, which is the first couple that lived here. They're very much like Ben and Vivian, and now seeing Chad and Patrick, wow, this gender looks for problematic messes. Though I will say I like these two problems way more than Ben and Vivian. I like Vivian, I've grown to appreciate her, but I just think they have something. I would have liked to follow them a little bit more than the Harmons, because I think there was some interesting tea to spill with this couple. One of the sadder, more real moments from this, we'll talk about it fully at the end of the video, but Addie is beefing with Constance hard in this episode, and I get it, this is a rough time of year for Constance, but just the stuff that she does to Addie in this scene where Addie is being a little flirty with Constance's Trade. If you don't know what Trade is a younger, usually straight man that you give services to while he gives you servicing. Usually you pay him, as Constance seems to be slipping him some cash, just oh, thank have fun, like like a sugar mama situation. That's what's happening here, and Constance does not like Addie flirting with her. It seems that Addie has had problems with boyfriends in the past, maybe trying to seduce them, or maybe them getting gross with her, but I don't know. I hate to see it, because I thought Addie was just doing harmless, cute flirting, and I thought it was cute, but then oh god, they butted heads so bad, and then it furthers some of the beef that happens later on, but it does lead to Addie saying what she wants to be for Halloween. She wants to be a pretty girl, and oh my god, the pretty girl conversation leads to a makeover. I forgot, one of my favorite things in movies or TV is a makeover episode where, a character gets to have a moment where they get to, someone else brings them up. I mean, from all the teen movies in the 90s to RuPaul's Drag Race to, oh my god, To Wong Fu, thanks for everything, Julie Newmar. I love a good makeover. And then we get that with Violet and Addie in this episode, where Addie just wants to be a pretty girl for Halloween. That's all she wants. And we get some really great moments with Violet and Addie. She's kind of expressing her thing, and Addie's like, oh, let's talk about boys. I loved the girl talk. Also, we get some little droppings where I don't think Violet picked it up, talking about the friends in the house, but this is also really it's cool to see that Addie gets a character to bounce off with that's not her evil mother, though this does lead into another scene where Constance and Addie that hurts me so much. I hated watching her yell at her, telling her she's not going to be a pretty girl, throwing her in that hideous closet thing. I get so angry at Constance in here. I love Jessica Lange. I love all her sass. But the moments in this episode are those ones that I was like, ooh, I forget Constance is a villain. I forget Constance isn't a character we love because of moments of how she treated Addie. Ooh, sidebar, I'm not going to really spend too much time on this, but the fine-ass Morris Chestnut is in this episode? Horror Story fans, why aren't we getting Morris Chestnut in more episodes? Because he is gorgeous. I see him flirting with Vivian. I was here for that. I love Ben. I just love that, Vivian's would cheat on Ben with this big, strong black man. Yes, honey, you grab what you need to grab, because that is a man. And also, it is weird. We had a Dina Porter who is only in one episode this season, but is now a recurring character. An actor like Morris Chestnut? Bring him back. Bring back Zachary Quinto, even though he's interesting in his personal life. But bring him back, because there are some good actors that we've been missing. Morris, Zachary, bring them back, please. Before I dive further into this episode, there is a talking point I want to talk about. This episode starts off a mythos and a little bit of a interesting Easter egg that happens, I think, in other seasons, with Halloween being a special time in the American Horror Story universe with, you go back to Freak Show with the Edward Mordrake, and then you have here where the ghost of Murder House can leave the house on Halloween. You see that with Chad and Patrick going out to find little boys. You find that with, not little boys, this is not an alleged Bryan Singer production, but no, I think it's interesting that they set this up, because you have a Tate and Ben outside scene, which blows my mind to see something in American Horror Story not set at the house. Yeah, they've had scenes where Ben's jogging or we go to the doctor's office, but this is primarily set in Murder House. So that scene with Ben and Tate outside talking, just having a normal time, that was strange. But before we even do that, we have more Ben and Larry stuff, and they bore me to tears. Oh, I killed Hayden for you. Get away from me, Burn Man. I'm just not here for that. But I will say, I'm not going to hate on Ben so hard this episode, because I really like the stuff with Tate. I thought that was really interesting, seeing them have a solid interaction. I felt like I got a little bit more from their therapy sessions, which are my favorite thing that Ben does in this season, is these therapy sessions with the Idina Porter character, even with Hayden, even with Tate. I like them. I find them to be enjoyable, and I kind of wish it was more of a recurring theme. I know in another episode we have the Piggy Man episode, so I know that it's there, and I like it, but I will say this episode really gave me a lot, because it's so twisted and so layered. I really like that Tate is saying things that I know that, Ben has no idea, and Tate knows so much about the house, about Vivian, about Violet. I think it's such a layered and twisted conversation that I think it only gets worse as the season happens. No one even knows really about Ghost yet. Ooh, until the end of this episode. Cannot wait to talk about that. Oh, and quick note as well, we do get a little bit more Charles and Nora backstory. Basically, they just give him the Lindbergh baby story, which if you don't know, it's like famous people got their baby stolen. It's been like homaged and done 1,000 times, but American Horror Story does add that weird twist to it. I was kind of intrigued by this whole Lindbergh thing. Again, kind of like Chad and Patrick. I could have seen a whole show about Charles and Nora and been okay with it because they are an interesting character. Like Lily Rabe alone is an amazing actress, is so fun to watch. I can't wait. Does she leave the house on Halloween? Because where would she go? Where do they go? I know Moira has the stuff with her mother, which is so sad, and something I completely forgot. Her mother was such a plot point in her Apocalypse episode. I completely forgot about her stuff with her mother here. That was really interesting, really sad, but nothing is as sad as the end of this episode. We have something to talk about with Vivian before we get to that. Oh, God. So Vivian goes to the hospital for like the 4th time this season, and whoa, the nurse passes out. There is something going on. This is when we start finding out the babies are very odd, very messed up, and I cannot wait until we get, like, I remember when you see the hand crawl on the stomach. There is some gross stuff, and I think like baby body horror gets me. Look at Rosemary's Baby. We need to talk about Kevin. Babies are terrifying, and I wish American Horror Story spent a little bit more time with the babies, because it could be terrifying when you're a bunch of ghosts dealing with babies. Oh boy. And now I'm here to my least favorite part of this episode, and I think this is so sad, so depressing. We get amazing acting from Jessica Lange because she is an actress, but at the end of this episode is when Addie gets just like, oh God, ran over, just disgustingly ran over with almost no remorse. Like the person who hits her just drives off. I hate that scene. I think it's so sad. Constance finds her, and this season, just to me, this is the moment that this proves that this season is not playing around. Pure madness with just, oh my God, it's so sad watching Jessica Lange have to deal with this, knowing that she really doesn't want to drag her to Murder House. We see that in Apocalypse with Langdon, where she's like, no, bye. But this is a moment where she's like, damn it, I'm going to lose a child that I can't bring to Murder House, like I did with Tate, like I've done with the other children in there. It was so sad to see like a final moment for Addie, who I loved her as a character. I knew something was happening in this episode because she's been hyping up all the pretty girl stuff, all the fights with Constance, that amazing scene with Violet, but it was so sad, so disgusting to watch. But damn it, if Jessica Lange did not act this scene for that back row, she put everything into this. Alright, episode is winding down, and then it basically finishes up with Larry coming to the house to scare Ben. Give me the money. I killed Hayden for you. And, you know, it's just, it's only Violet there, and that's kind of interesting, because it's like, I don't know who you are, and, oh, then she's getting stalked by Rubber Man, because once again, this episode's amping up. We're going into that second part, and my favorite thing is when Ben and Vivian get home, and Ben's like, okay, oh, the burn guy Larry's been here. Oh, knock at the door. Open it, and who is it? A dead Hayden. And that's how they drop this episode off, because I completely forgot we about to get crazy in this season with all the ghosts. Finally, all this stuff is like now going to come to the surface. We don't get the whole Violet ghost craziness yet, but I cannot wait for what this next episode's going to be. I cannot wait to talk about it. I cannot wait to talk about it with you guys. Let me know what you thought of this discussion for the first part of Halloween. I am so hyped and so happy for this. I'm back to talking about American Horror Story. This was a damn good episode. Again, this season is so strong that I'm just impressed that they have kept up the momentum. There's only been one episode that I was like, okay, that was okay, but we're back to this Halloween episode, back to some powerful, impactful things. This season is now in full effect, but this is only part 1 of my 2-part episode, and I'm stopping this episode now. I'm going to finish this in my next video. So much drama. Oh boy, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy this video. Comment down below because I love comments. I will talk with you guys. We have a lot to talk about in this Halloween episode. And also subscribe to my channel because I make videos like this every single week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I cannot wait to talk about more American Horror Story.